My name is Carter Stevens. I'm a professional pervert. I'm mostly known for making dirty movies. Been in the porn business for over 35 years, and I love it.
And what do you love about it?
Love making them. I love watching them. I love doing them. I love being in the porn business itself. Um, I love being an outlaw. However, there one big drawback is that the retirement plan for outlaws really sucks.
I've heard that there's really no good retirement plan for outlaws, especially especially porno outlaws.
Exactly.
So you're still in love with this industry. You've been in for 35 years.
I love
What
making movies. The fact that I got started that I became famous in the porno business was a fluke. But my degree is in photographic science. I worked for Eastman Kodak in their motion picture section for a while, and eventually sort of backed my way into the porno business. And my second film, Lickety Split, became a giant hit. And suddenly Carter Stevens was a name. So I started making porno films. And 35 years later, I've made hundreds of them.
Excellent. Now, a lot of people started out with loops and then went on to features. What was your introduction to the adult industry?
Sort of two pronged. I started off originally. I was trying to sell, or I should say, I was trying to raise money to make a action adventure mystery kind of movie, and couldn't find anybody to back it. I kept coming in, kept running into uh, catch 22. You know, what have you done? Nothing. Well, come back when you've done something. And eventually, I came across a distributor, Terry Levine, who read my script and said, "Well, look, it's not bad, but you've never done anything." He says, "I'll tell you what I'll do." He says, "If you go out and make an adult film, I have a bunch of theaters that I'm distributing films to. And you bring me a finished film, no matter how bad it is, I'll run it off until you at least break even." He said, "It may take you a couple of years because I may wind up running it as the third picture on a double bill, but I will guarantee that you'll at least break even on it." So I said, "Well, that's basically the best offer I'd ever gotten." So I discussed it with my parents and decided to become a pornographer.
And how old were you? And when you had that opportunity?
Early 30s. Early 30s. At that point, I was a supervisor at a large motion picture laboratory in New York. But as the old joke goes, what I really wanted to do was direct.
Of course. So how did your parents react? I don't know how many people
My
approach the.
par-
Go ahead.
my parents were great. Basically, what my mother said was, "Will it hurt your career?" I said, "I don't have a career. That's the whole reason I'm considering doing it." She says, "All right, well, you can always change your name after you make your first million." So I said, "All right, I'll do you one better. I'll change my name before I start making the pictures," which is what I did,
And
and
where did the oh
that's how Carter Stevens was born.
where did the name Carter Stevens come from? Because I know it's quite a departure from your actual name that you don't
No,
have to
it's not. It's
reveal.
not quite. It's not quite a departure at all. Actually, my first wife, her middle name was Carter, and my middle name is Steven. So I put together Carter Stevens. I said, "Wow, that sounds like a nice wasp name, easy to remember. I'll become Carter Stevens," and that's how Carter Stevens was born.
So tell me, if someone said, what did Carter Stevens make? What are the films that you would encourage them to go to first? What are your big titles, Carter?
Well, I would advise them to see all of them. Uh, but I mean,
Perfect.
you're asking me which of my children do I love more? Um, Actually, now thanks to alternative video, after hours DVDs, a lot of my films have been re-released on DVD. Mostly as collections. The first collection is called The Collegiates, which is a collection of four of my first films: Collegiates, Hot Oven, Mount of Venus, and Sarah's Eyes, all on two DVDs in one collection. And they can get that, or there's another collection is Pleasure Palace, which has three of my films, or Punk Rock. Now, Punk Rock is out in two different versions. There is an X-rated collection, which has the X-rated version of Punk Rock and two other movies. And there is the R-rated version. Now, the R-rated version has the R-rated version of Punk Rock and an edited version of Pleasure Palace, which was edited for Canada, which had all the sex removed. But the R-rated version is different from the X-rated version in that the R-rated version has over an hour's worth of additional footage, mostly music that was shot at I just lost it. Hang on. I'm having a senior moment. Um,
Take your time.
it was shot at Max's Kansas City in New York City, which was a punk rock, famous punk rock joint.
Legendary. Yeah.
And that that film, there was only one copy known to exist, and this DVD was made from it, and you can buy it through Amazon or through alternative video. So it's the only version of the R-rated version of punk rock that exists. So yeah, I guess I would tell people go out and buy that one if you want one that's really rare, that's really outstanding. It, of course, is not a porno. It's an R-rated version with little sexy overtones to it. But if you're looking for pornos, I guess the X-rated version of Punk Rock, or Roller Babies, or Teenage Twins, Pleasure Palace. Those are all some of my better known films.
Excellent. So, what is the new project that you are working on and you're currently doing fundraising for?
Well, we're trying to do a crowd funding, money raising for a probably an R-rated, off the wall nudie comedy. It's not a porno. It is a very funny film about an undercover police squad in the 1970s that's assigned to make a porno in order to infiltrate the mob, which the police believe run the porno business. The police squad makes the porno and winds up becoming the most successful pornographers in the history of the genre. And they are then charged by the feds as successful pornographers. It's just a fun time.
So, it's basically an R-rated comedy that draws from your experience or stories in the porn industry, but should be available for a larger audience. It's
Yeah,
basically
we're aiming for, of course, the DVD market, but we're aiming for cable television, that kind of market. A little bit of skin. I couldn't make a film without some bare tits, but I don't think I know
who's
how
looking
anymore.
who isn't looking for a movie with bare tits?
Exactly. But it's a harmless comedy.
Ah, it sounds great. Were there any particular stories or experiences that directly inspired the squad idea?
Well, the fact is that back in the 70s, there was a police squad assigned by the mayor of New York to make pornos in order to infiltrate the mob. That is true. That really happened. Um, that has nothing to do with this film.
But that's actually a part of history that maybe a lot of people don't even realize
Right.
that exists.
Exactly.
What was the story there? What year was this, or about what time?
It was the 70s. You can't pin me down to years. That was the whole point of the 70s. It was it was one long period of time. Uh, it was actually, I would say, from the 70s. Actually, existed from around 1974 to about 1984. The 10-year period that we rode the crest of the wave. It was when the air was dirty and sex was clean. Um, it was after the pill and before AIDS.
Right.
We were the only generation to ever enjoy riding bareback during sex.
Yeah, things are very different today, obviously. But that's a whole other deeper issue that's not as fun. So tell me, what would people look forward to? Because you are still doing fundraising for the squad, and uh, it's certainly something that I support and I contributed to. And
Yes, thank you.
oh, of course, of course. But why should people contribute? What will they
Well,
get in the end? Because I think
first
it's a
of
great
all,
project.
first of all, we have put together a list of perks, which are basically gifts, which we will give out in thanks for their contributions. We're not asking them to contribute for nothing. Um, the lowest contribution that they get more than a thank you for is $25, for which, when the film is finished, they will get a DVD copy. So basically, what they're doing is buying the copy of the film in advance. Um, and each level above that adds to that with other uh, gifts. One of them is a signed, personally signed one sheet from one of my other films, autographed by me personally to the contributor. That kind of thing, and
Excellent.
they can choose what they want by what level of contribution they make.
It truly does sound like a lot of fun. And
Well, that's what
um,
we're hoping.
like I said, it's something with a sense of humor. And I'm a fan of like the older videos, and there was a lot of work that went into it. I mean, you didn't just have to look good. There was a lot of work, and I'm excited to see something that harkens back to that time where, people weren't entering the porn industry because they were, there was different people. A lot of people wanted to move on. There were other career goals, and it's not. I think a lot of
A
people get
lot of
in.
us, a lot of us in the porn business were making other films.
Right.
We were working, we were working in the quote straight unquote industry as well. Cinematographers, lighting directors, soundmen were making commercials Monday through Friday, and on the weekends they were shooting porn. It was added income. It was a chance to make movies. We wanted to make movies, and porn gave us that opportunity, and we were very grateful for the opportunity.
Absolutely. I mean, I know that there's a number of us here at Hot Movies and Gay Hot Movies for Her, and Classic VOD. I mean, are thrilled about those movies, whether they're loops, whether they're full-scale productions. I mean, there's a lot of attachment to those here. I mean, for all the different movies that we do carry, I mean, there's definitely some of us that are wildly attracted and sort of a little bit obsessive about that
Well,
those
they're
older
perverts all
films.
over the place.
I will be sure to let I'll be sure to let the otter know that you said that. He'll be delighted.
Well, as I say, I'm a professional pervert, so I know.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to be an actual card carrying pervert, and there's a freedom in it. I found that even in the blogging, social media, merely having to know about the industry, it's incredibly freeing. I don't have to pretend to be somebody else and then go be a pervert at night. I mean, I get paid to be a pervert. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I know. It's the greatest job in the world.
It truly is. It truly is. So,
I mean, okay, we won't come up with the cure for cancer this week, but at least we'll have fun while we're looking.
yeah, exactly. So, is there anything else you would like people to know about the squad or anything else? What else would you like people to know?
I would like people to know that unless they get behind us and give us some money, the squad will never get made. We are not giving up. We are going to keep pounding on doors and with our hat in our hand, begging for money until we get enough money to make this film. This film will get made.
Excellent. Excellent. I love that there's no other option but to make it. So we're happy to help here, and thank you for so much for taking the time to talk to me about your career and your new plan. And it's absolutely been a pleasure. So
All right. Well, will these guys with the guns let me go now?
I don't know. What are you going to do for your freedom? I mean, that sounds
Well,
like a plot in itself.
I did your damn interview, lady. Let me go.
Thank you so much, Carter Stevens. And I encourage everyone to go check out the squad. There will be links in the interview to the Indiegogo campaign, and I certainly can't wait to see it when it's done.
Thank you so much for giving us this time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Carter, and thank you everyone for listening. Please check out all of Carter's films. They're available online, and you can also buy them in DVD format as well. So happy to help you out.
Thank you.